Welcome to my channel. I hope you like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to crochet a beautiful little summer dress with a matching diaper cover. It's for baby girls between 3 and 6 months old, but you can easily make it smaller or bigger from newborn size and up to 12 months. In the information box below, I'll go ahead and leave you some information on how you can easily make it smaller or bigger, so be sure to check that out. And as always, if you prefer a written pattern, check out my Etsy shop. I'll leave the link to my Etsy shop in the information box below. Thank you so much for your support. Now let's get started, and thank you so much for watching. Now to make this little dress, this is the yarn that I used. This is DK weight yarn. I used pink and white. You can also use number 3 yarn or 8 ply. Now in total, you're going to need about 120 grams, 40 grams in white, and about 80 grams in pink. You will need less or more depending on the size that you're making. To begin, I'll be using this 3.5mm crochet hook, and today I'm using this DK weight yarn. You can also use number 3 or 8 ply. At the beginning of the video, I showed you the yarn that I'm using, and I told you how much yarn we're going to need for the size that we're making. So here to begin, I have 53 chains. Now this chain without stretching, it's measuring about 11 inches, which is about 28 centimeters. Now if you're off by 1 or 2 centimeters, it's okay. Continue with the first row. In this first row, what we're going to do is into the second chain from the hook, 1, 2, into this second chain here, I'm going to make a single crochet. A single crochet into the next chain, single crochet into the next, and so on. For this first row, this is all we're going to do. 1 single crochet on each chain, so that at the end of this first row, we have 52 single crochets. Continue, I'll meet you at the end of this first row. I finished this first row. In this row we did single crochets. I have 52 single crochets at the end of this first row. Now for the second row, chain 2 and turn. Now these 2 chains do not count. Beginning into the first single crochet, I'm going to make a double crochet. Now into the next 2, same thing, 1 double crochet. Now into the next single crochet, which is the 4th stitch counting from the beginning, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to make a double crochet increase. So make 2 double crochets into this same single crochet. And this is how you're going to continue to the end of the row. You're going to make 3 double crochets, and into the next a double crochet increase. Now continue like this to the end of this second row. I will meet you here to show you how we're going to finish this second row. I'm here at the end of this second row. Now at the end of this row, I finished by making 4 double crochets. Here's the last increase, and then I just did 4 double crochets here at the end. At the end of this second row, you should have a total of 64 double crochets. Now for the third row, chain 2 and turn. Remember, the 2 chains do not count. Now in this row, I'm going to make 4 double crochets, then into the next my double crochet increase. So beginning on top of the first double crochet, make your first double crochet. That's 1. Into the next, that's 2, 3, 4 double crochets. Now into the next double crochet, make a double crochet increase. So make 2 double crochets, and then again you're going to repeat the same thing. You're going to make 4 double crochets, and into the next a double crochet increase. Continue like this to the end of this third row, and remember, all you're doing is making 4 double crochets and into the next 2, 4, 2, all the way to the end. I will meet you at the end of this third row to show you how we're going to finish this row. I'm here at the end of this third row. I have 4 double crochets left. On top of these 4, I'm just going to make 1 double crochet. And here's the third row. At the end of this row, you should have a total of 76 double crochets. Now for the fourth row, chain 2 and turn. Now in this row, what we're going to do are 5 double crochets, then into the next are double crochet increase. Let me show you. Beginning on top of the first double crochet, make a double crochet. into the next a double crochet. That's 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochets. Now into the next, make your double crochet increase. And this is how you're going to continue for the rest of this 4th row. You're going to make 5 double crochets, then 2, 5, 2, all the way to the end. I will meet you at the end of this 4th row to show you how we're going to finish this row. I'm here at the end of this 4th row. Now I have 4 double crochets left. Here I'm just going to make 1 double crochet into each one of these last 4. There. At the end of this 4th row, you should have a total of 88 double crochets. Now for the 5th row, we're going to chain 2 and turn. Now for this 5th row, we're going to repeat the same thing we did in the 2nd row. We're going to make 3 double crochets, then into the next stitch, a double crochet increase. Let me show you. Beginning on top of the first stitch, make your first double crochet. Into the next, a double crochet. That's 3, and into the next, your double crochet increase. Again, make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and into the next, a double crochet increase. Now continue like this to the end of this 5th row. I will meet you 8 stitches before we finish to show you how we're going to finish this 5th row. I'm here at the end of this 5th row. Now here I have my last increase. I have 8 double crochets left. Now here I'm not going to make any more increases. I'm just going to make 1 double crochet into each one of these last 8 double crochets. There. At the end of this 5th row, you should have a total of 108 double crochets. Now for the 6th row, we're going to chain 3 and turn. Now the 3 chains here counts as 1 double crochet. In this row, we're going to make V stitches. To begin, I'm going to skip 1 double crochet and into the next, which is the 3rd, counting from the beginning. 1, 2, 3. Into this double crochet here, make the first V stitch. So make a double crochet, 2 chains, double crochet. So each one of the V stitches is going to consist of a double crochet, 2 chains, double crochet. Now skip 2 double crochets and into the 3rd, make 1 more V stitch. Skip 2 and into the next, another V stitch. And this is how you're going to continue for the rest of this 6th row. Continue like this. I'll meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of this 6th row. In this row, we have done V stitches. I have a total of 35 V stitches. Now here at the end, I have 3 double crochets left. Into the last double crochet, make a double crochet. Now I've cut my yarn, so I'm going to pass my yarn through this last loop. For the next row, I'm going to change yarn color. I'm going to use this white yarn here. So to begin the 7th row, I'm going to turn right on top of the first double crochet here, insert your hook, grab a loop here, bring it through, chain 1, and right into this same stitch here, make a single crochet. Now if you don't want to change yarn color, then just go ahead and chain 1, turn, and right into this first double crochet, make a single crochet. Now this is how we're going to work each one of the V stitches. Beginning with this first one, we're going to start with a front post double crochet into the chain 2 space. You make 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, and then into the second double crochet of this first V stitch, make a front post double crochet. Again, we have the second V stitch, into the first double crochet, make a front post double crochet, into the chain 2 space, make 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. and then a front post double crochet into the second double crochet of this same V-stitch. And this is how you're going to work each one of the V-stitches. Continue. I'll meet you at the end of this 7th row. I'm here at the end of this 7th row. This is where we did these fans. I have a total of 35 fans. Now to finish here at the end, into the second chain, make a single crochet. Now for row 8, we're going to chain 1, turn. Now beginning on top of this first single crochet, make a single crochet. Now we have the first fan. We have a back post double crochet, 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, and then a back post double crochet. This is how we're going to work each fan. We have the 2 back post double crochets. We're going to maintain these the same and work a back post double crochet. So this first one here, make a back post double crochet, skip 1 double crochet, and into the next make a back post double crochet. Now into the chain space, make 2 double crochets, 2 chains, 2 double crochets. Here we're going to be making these fans into the chain space, which consists of 2 double crochets, 2 chains, 2 double crochets. Now we have the next double crochet, make a back post double crochet, skip the next double crochet, and into the next double crochet, which is a back post double crochet, make a back post double crochet. Again, we have the second fan, we have a back post double crochet, 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles, and then a back post double crochet. Make a back post double crochet into the back post double crochet, skip 1 double crochet, and into the next make a back post double crochet. In the chain space, make a fan, into the next double crochet, make a back post double crochet, skip the next double crochet, and then we have the back post double crochet, make a back post double crochet. And this is how we're going to work each one of the fans, and this is going to create this 3D effect right here. So let me show you again. We have the third fan. Again, we have a back post, 2 doubles, chain space, 2 doubles, a back post. Make a back post double crochet, skip the next double crochet, and in the next make a back post double crochet. In the chain space, make a fan, a back post double crochet in the next double, skip the next double, and in the next make a back post double crochet. And that's all we're going to do. So basically the double crochets, the back post double crochets, these remain the same, and in the 2 double crochets that are before the chain spaces and after, you make back post double crochets, and inside the chain space you make a fan. And this is how it looks. It creates that nice 3D effect here, which is what we want. So continue like this for this 8th row. I will meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of this 8th row. Here at the end, I finished by making a single crochet on top of the last single crochet. Then I cut my yarn and passed my yarn through that last loop, and this row is done. Now at the end of this 8th row, you should have a total of 35 of these fans. Now this is the side where we finished, so from here on this is going to be the back side. This here is going to be the right side or the front of the little dress. So we're going to turn this like this. The yoke is done, and this is how it looks. Now so far it's measuring from here up to the end here of the fan. It's measuring about 9.5 centimeters, which is about 3.75 inches. Now we're going to divide the sleeves here in the next row, so I need you to place some stitch markers. Each one of the front panels is going to have 4 fans or 4 V-stitches. I decided to count the V-stitches instead because in the next row we're going to go back to the 6th row. That's where we did the V-stitches. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 V-stitches for this front panel. Then I place a stitch marker between the 4th and the 5th. Now for the sleeve, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 V-stitches. For the back side, I have 9 V-stitches as well. For the second sleeve, I also have 9 V-stitches. And for this second front panel, I have 4 V-stitches. So we're going to go back to this side. This is where I finished. This is the right side. We're going to fold this last row like this, and we're going to go back into the row of V-stitches, starting on top of the first double crochet right here. Grab a loop here, bring it through. I'm using the pink yarn here to continue. Now chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now these 3 chains counts as 1 double crochet. Now we're going to find the first V-stitch, and here's the first V-stitch. So we're going to fold this fan like this, and we're going to go right into the V-stitch, the chain 2 space of the V-stitch. So we're going to have 2 double crochets on either side, because this is where we did the 7th row of fans. So right into that space, make your pattern stitch, which is going to consist of 3 double crochets, chain 2, 1 double crochet. I'm going to use the, I think this is called a side saddle stitch or side saddle fan stitch. I'm going to call them fans. So here's the first stitch. Now we're going to go into the next V-stitch, right into the chain space of that second V-stitch. Repeat the same thing. Make 3 double crochets, 3, chain 2, double crochet. Now go into the third V-stitch and make another fan. We have the next V-stitch, the 4th V-stitch, so here make another fan. There, we have 4 fans, 1, 2, 3, 4, and these fans were made right into the same row of V-stitches, which is the 6th row, so right into the chain space of the V-stitch. And that's how it looks. Now to separate the first sleeve, we're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now to separate the sleeve, skip 9 V-stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 into the chain space of the next V-stitch right here, which is the first one for the back side out of the 9. Right here, make a fan. Now you're going to continue along the back side and make 1 fan into each one of the remaining V-stitches. So you're going to make 1 here, 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 up to the stitch marker. Here you're going to have a total of 9 of these fans for the back side. I will meet you right here to show you how we're going to separate the second sleeve. I finished making these 9 fans for the back side, and again these fans were made into the V-stitch row right in the middle of the chain space of each V-stitch. Now to separate the second sleeve, we're going to chain 7. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now skip 9 V-stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and into the next one after the stitch marker, right in the middle in the chain space, make a fan. Now continue and finish this second front panel. I will meet you at the end of this first row. I finished making these 4 fans here for the second front panel. Now to finish this row, this is what we're going to do. We're going to join here to the beginning, and to do this I also need to add an extra fan, because as it is right now I have 8 for the back side and 9 for the front side. So I need to add one more fan here so that we have 9 and 9 for both the front and the back panels. So here, to do this, I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to go right on top of the last stitch here. These are actually the 3 chains, so this is the beginning of this 6th row where we did the V stitches. So right into the same stitch that I did this stitch here for the fan, I'm going to insert my hook there, and I'm going to go into this end. This is the beginning of the row, and into the same stitch that I inserted my hook to make the 3 chains here at the beginning of this first row. Insert your hook through there, grab a loop here, and make a double crochet. So now we are joined. Now into this same stitch here. Now don't worry about going through this side, only through this end here. Make 2 more double crochets. Now chain 2, and the 3 chains that we did here at the beginning counts as the last double crochet of the pattern. See that one? So now all you need to do is just go into the chain 3 space and join with a slip stitch. And here is the last fan. So now at the end of this row you should have a total of 18 fans. 9 for the back, 9 for the front, so that's 18. And under each sleeve you should have 7 chains. Now for the second row we're going to turn. Make sure that you turn this way. That way the yarn is behind the hook. Now into this chain 2 space of this first fan, make a slip stitch. Now chain 3, and right into the same space here make 2 more double crochets. Counting the 3 chains, I have 3 double crochets. Now chain 2, and into the same space here make a double crochet. So here's the first fan for the second row. Now into each one of these remaining 4, into the chain 2 space, I'm going to make my fans. There, I have 5 fans here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we have the next 7 chains. I'm going to skip the first chain, and into the second chain I'm going to make a fan. Now skip the third chain, and into the fourth make a fan. Skip the fifth chain, and into the sixth chain make a fan. Now under the sleeve here we have added 3 extra fans. 1, 2, 3. Now skip the 7th chain, and into the first chain 2 space of this next fan. For the back side, make a fan. There. Now continue along and make 1 fan into each one of these remaining fans until you come here to the last one. I will meet you here to show you how we're going to work these chains under the second sleeve. Okay, I finished making these 9 fans here for the back side or the front side from here on. Not counting the 3 that we added under the first sleeve, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Now in the next 7 chains, this is what I did. I did exactly the same thing. I skipped the first chain, and into the second I did a fan. Then I skipped the third chain, and into the fourth I did a fan. I skipped the fifth chain, and into the sixth I did a fan. Now I'm going to skip the seventh chain, and into this first fan here for the second front panel I'm going to make a fan. There, now continue along and finish these last 3 fans. I will meet you at the end of this second row. I'm here at the end of this second row. Now at the end of this row, I have a total of 24 fans. We started with 18, and in this row we added 3 fans under each sleeve. So that's a total of 24 fans at the end of this second row. Now to finish this row, we're going to go here to the beginning where we have the 3 chains, and right into the third chain, insert your hook and make a slip stitch. And here is the second row with 24 fans. Now for row 3, you're going to turn like this. Beginning on top of this first double crochet, make a slip stitch. And into the chain 2, make a slip stitch. Once here, you chain 3, make 2 double crochets, 2 chains, double crochet. And then into each one of the chain 2 space of each fan, you're going to make a fan. In this row, we're just going to do this. We're not going to increase. You're just going to make a fan into each one of the fans, into the chain 2 space. At the end of this third row, I'm also going to have 24 fans. So continue like this, finish this third row. I will meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of this third row. I have 24 fans. Now to finish the row, go into the third chain here at the beginning and join with a slip stitch. Now for the fourth row, turn. Now in this row, we're going to make 2 increases. I'm going to make an extra fan under this sleeve and an extra fan under the second sleeve. So what I did is 24 divided by 2, that's 12. So I have 12 fans here for the back, 12 fans here for the front. So right in the middle of the fans here, we're going to make an increase. So here I'm going to go on top of the first double crochet, make a slip stitch, into the chain 2, make a slip stitch. Now chain 3, make 2 double crochets, 2 chains, double crochet. Here's the first fan for this fourth row. Now I'm going to continue along and make a fan into the next, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fans. So in total, I'm going to make 6, including this first one. I will meet you right here to show you how I'm going to make this increase right between the 6th and the 7th fan here under this first sleeve. I finished making these 6 fans here for this fourth row. Now I have my stitch marker, so between the 6th and the 7th fan here right in the center, I'm going to make an increase. So I'm going to make an extra fan. So just make a fan here. There, now I have 7 for this side, and now I'm just going to continue along and work 1 fan on each one of these 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I will meet you right here. This is where I'm going to make another increase right under the sleeve. I finished making these 12 fans. Here's the increase. So after the increase, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 fans. Now between the next 2 fans right here where I have the stitch marker, I'm going to make a fan. Now continue along and finish the next 6 fans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I will meet you at the end. I finished making these last 6 fans, 2, 4, 6. Now I'm here at the end of the 4th row. To finish, go here to the beginning, into the 3rd chain, join with a slip stitch. And this is how I finish this 4th row with a total of 26 fans. Now for the 5th row, turn. Beginning on top of this first double crochet, make a slip stitch. And into the chain 2, make a slip stitch. Once here, you chain 3, make 2 double crochets, 2 chains, 1 double crochet, and then you're going to make a fan into each one of the chain 2 of each one of the fans. At the end of this 5th row, you're going to end with 26 fans. Now continue like this. Finish this row. I will meet you here at the end to show you once again how to finish each row and how to start each row, since from here on the 5th row is the row that we're going to repeat. So I will meet you at the end of the 5th row. I'm here at the end of this 5th row. I have 26 fans. From here on, we're always going to have 26 fans, and we're always going to repeat this same row. Now, to finish each row, you're just going to go here to the beginning, into the 3rd chain, insert your hook, and make a slip stitch. Now, to begin each row, you're going to turn, and beginning on top of the 1st double crochet, make a slip stitch into the chain 2. Now, chain 3, and make 2 double crochets, 2 chains, 1 double crochet. Here's the first fan for this 6th row, and into each one of the fans, you make a fan. This is how we're going to continue for the rest of the skirt here. I'm not sure how many rows I'm going to do, but continue watching. I will let you know exactly how many rows I'm going to do. So continue. I'll meet you at the end of that row. I finished making the skirt of the dress. I have done a total of 18 rows. From here where we divided the sleeves up to this last row that I just finished, I did a total of 18 rows, and it's measuring from the top of the shoulder to the end of the last row. It's measuring about 13 inches, which is about 33 centimeters. If you would like to make it longer, you can. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to work a couple more rows, but I'm going to make single crochets instead. So to do this here, this is what we're going to do. So I finished here on the wrong side. Now for row 19, this is what we're going to do. We're going to turn, and beginning on top of this 1st double crochet, make a single crochet. Now in the chain 2 space, make 2 single crochets, and then 1 single crochet in the next 3 double crochets. So each fan is going to have 6 single crochets. Again, we have the next one, make a single crochet on top of the first one, then 2 into the chain 2 space, and then 3. Now continue like this all around, just making single crochets. I will meet you here at the end of this 19th row to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this 19th row. This is where I did single crochets all around. To finish, go on top of the 1st single crochet and join with a slip stitch. And this is how I finished this 19th row. You should have a total of 156 single crochets. Now, if you have 1 or 2 stitches less or more, it's okay. Just continue. Now, for the 20th row, chain 1, and right into this 1st stitch, which is the same one that we joined to, make a single crochet. Single crochet into the next stitch, single crochet into the next, and so on. Here we're just going to work single crochets all around. At the end of this 20th row, we're going to be left with 156 single crochets as well. So continue, finish this row, I'll meet you at the end. I finished making the 20th row. In this row, I did single crochets all around, and I had 156 single crochets as well for that 20th row. Now, here at the end, I just joined to the beginning, cut my yarn, and passed my yarn through that last loop. I'm only going to do these 2 rows of single crochet, but if you want to make this here wider, you can. I'm just going to make these 2 rows. Now, for row 21, I'm going to change yarn color. Now, this last row that I'm going to do, this is more of a decorative row, and it's optional. So this is how I'm going to do it. So this is where I finished. So I'm going to insert my hook into that same stitch where I joined to the beginning right there. Now grab a loop here, bring it through, chain 1. Now into the next stitch, make a slip stitch, chain 1, slip stitch into the next stitch, chain 1, slip stitch into the next stitch, chain 1, slip stitch. And this is how we're going to work this last row. Just make a slip stitch, chain 1, slip stitch, chain 1 into each single crochet. So continue like this for row 21. I'll meet you at the end. I finished making this last row. Here at the end, I just did my last slip stitch, cut my yarn, and passed my yarn through that last loop, and this part here is done, and this is how it looks. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to go here to the back side. So we're going to make single crochets here along the sides, and then around the neckline we're going to do the same thing I did here. So to begin, we're going to go right in the middle, insert your hook right there, right in the middle, grab a loop. I'm going to be using this white yarn here. There. Now chain one, and right into the same stitch here, make a single crochet. Now we're going to go here along this side, and into each one of the double crochets here at the end we're going to make 2 single crochets. So beginning here, I have 2, into the next row make 2, the next row is the single crochet row. So let me count these stitches. I have, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. I have 11 single crochets. Now I'm going to add a buttonhole here. So I'm going to chain 1, skip the row of single crochets, and go right on top of the chains here and make a single crochet. Now I only chained 1 because I'm planning to use small buttons. Continue watching. I will let you know what size buttons I'm going to use, but if you want to use bigger buttons, you can chain more and just skip the same single crochet row and go into the row of chains and do the same thing. That would be up to you. Now to work the neckline, we're going to do it exactly how we did here. I'm going to chain 1, and into the next chain stitch here, make a slip stitch, chain 1, slip stitch into the next, chain 1, slip stitch, chain 1, slip stitch, chain 1, and so on. This is how we're going to work the neckline here all around. It's the same thing we did for the bottom. Continue. I will meet you here at this other end to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at this other end of the neckline. I finished making these slip stitches with chains all around. Now here at the end I have my last chain, and right into the last stitch here make a single crochet. Now we're going to work our way down here, and so here into the next row of single crochets make 1, and then into the rows of double crochets make 2 single crochets into each double crochet or chain 2 space here. Here's the last row, make 2 single crochets. Now to finish, go here to the beginning where we have the first single crochet and join with a slip stitch. Now cut your yarn and pass your yarn through this last loop. Let's see how it looks. Yes, I think that looks pretty good. It looks the same. Here we added 1 buttonhole, so make sure that you put your button here on this side. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then hide my ends, and then I'll come back and show you the finished little dress. I finished hiding all my ends. I also went ahead and attached my button. Now this button here is a 9mm size. I think that with 1 chain you can use 8, 9, or even 10. If you chain 2, you can use 11, 12, or even 13mm size buttons. So the little dress is all done. This is how it looks. This is the front. Now here I just did a simple little bow, and right in the middle I attached these little flowers. These are pre-made flowers that I just attached them here to the center. I just sewed them in, and this is how it looks. So the little dress is all done. Here's the bottom, and here's this beautiful yoke, and the back side. This is how it looks, and the bottom of the back side. So now let me give you the finished measurement. The total length from the top of the shoulder to the end here, it's measuring about 34 centimeters, which is about 13.5 inches. Now this measurement right across from here to here, right across, it's measuring about 11 centimeters, which is about 4.25 inches. And the chest measurement, just the top, it's measuring about 22 centimeters, which is about 8.75 inches. So based on these measurements, this little dress is for baby girls between 3 and 6 months old. Now you can easily make it smaller or bigger. In the information box below, I'll go ahead and leave you some information on how you can easily make it smaller or bigger. Now continue watching. I will show you how to make the matching diaper cover or baby bloomers. To make the diaper cover and the little dress, this is the yarn that I used. This is DK weight yarn, but you can also use any number 3 yarn or A ply. I recommend that you use cotton yarn if you're going to make this set for the summertime. Now in total, you're going to need about 75 grams for the diaper cover, about 60 grams in the main color, and about 15 grams in white. You are going to need less or more depending on the size that you make. To begin, I'll be using this 3.5mm crochet hook, and today I'm using this DK weight yarn. You can also use any number 3 yarn or A ply. Now at the beginning of the video, I showed you the yarn that I'm using, and I told you how much yarn we're going to need for the size that we're making. So here, to begin with the white yarn, I have a total of 80 chains. This chain without stretching, it's measuring about 43 centimeters, which is about 17 inches. Now, if you're off by 1 or 2 centimeters, it's okay. Continue with the 80 chains. So here, to begin, the first thing that we need to do is we need to join to the first chain. This is going to be the waistband. So to begin, insert your hook into this first chain, grab a loop, and pull through. Now we're joined. Now we're going to chain 1. This chain here does not count as a stitch. Now insert your hook through the first chain here and make a half double crochet. Now into each one of the remaining chains, we're going to make half double crochets. And this is how we're going to work this first row. 1 half double crochet on each chain. At the end of this first row, I'm going to have 80 half double crochets. Continue like this for this first row. I'll meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of this first row. This is where I did half double crochets all around. I have a total of 80 half double crochets, not including the chain here at the beginning. To finish this row, go on top of the first half double crochet and join with a slip stitch. Now for the second row, chain 1. Now in this row, what I'm going to do is front post and back post half double crochets. So beginning into this first half double crochet, which is the same one that we joined to, make a front post half double crochet. Now into the next, make a back post half double crochet, into the next front post half double crochet, into the next back post half double crochet, and so on. This is how we're going to work the second row. Front post and back post half double crochets. Continue. I will meet you at the end of this second row. I'm here at the end of the second row. In this row, I did front post and back post half double crochets. Here's my last stitch. I have a back post half double crochet. To finish, go on top of the first half double crochet and join with a slip stitch. And this is how I finished the second row with a total of 80 half double crochets. Now for rows 3 and 4, chain 1. Beginning with this first stitch here, we're going to start with a front post half double crochet. Now the next one is a back post, so make a back post half double crochet. Next one, front post half double crochet. Next one, back post half double crochet. Here we're going to be working these stitches exactly how they are. If it's a front post, make a front post. If it's a back post, then make a back post. Now to finish the row, you're going to go here to the beginning, join with a slip stitch, chain 1, and then repeat the same thing for the fourth row. Continue for these 2 rows. I'll meet you at the end. I finished making rows 3 and 4 where I did front post and back post half double crochets. At the end of each row, I had 80 stitches. Here at the end of the fourth row, I just joined to the beginning with a slip stitch, cut my yarn, and passed my yarn through that last loop, and the waistband is done. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to flip this like this, and we're going to go here into the foundation row. If you notice, into these spaces here, that is where I'm going to go in and make single crochets in this first row. So we're going to go right here into this first space, Now grab a loop here. I'm going to use this pink yarn. So pull a loop through, chain 1. Now in this row we're going to make single crochets into these spaces here that are between the half double crochets, and in this row I'm going to increase 8 more stitches so that at the end of this first row I have 88 stitches. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make 9 single crochets, and into the 10th I'm going to increase. So beginning into this first stitch where I did the chain, make your first single crochet. Into the next, make a single crochet. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Into the 10th, make a single crochet increase. Now repeat the same thing, make 9 single crochets. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and into the 10th space make a single crochet increase. Continue like this all around for this first row. I'll meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of this first row. In this row I did single crochets all around, and I increased 8 more stitches. Here's my last increase. I have a total of 88 single crochets. To finish the row, go on top of the first single crochet and join with a slip stitch. Now for the second row, chain 3. Now these 3 chains here counts as 1 double crochet. Now into this same stitch here, make 2 double crochets. Now chain 1, and into this same stitch here make a double crochet. Here's the first fan for this second row. Now skip 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th single crochet make a fan. So make 3 double crochets, chain 1, 1 double crochet. Again, skip 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th make a fan. Now this is how we're going to continue for the rest of this second row. Again, skip 3 and into the 4th make a fan. Continue, finish this second row. I'll meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of this second row. This is where we did fans. I have a total of 22. Now here at the end, skip these last 3 single crochets and go into the 3rd chain here at the beginning and join with a slip stitch. And here is the second row with 22 fans. From here on, we're always going to have 22 fans at the end of each row. Now for the 3rd row, we're going to turn. Now beginning on top of the first double crochet, make a slip stitch, into the chain space, make a slip stitch, and now chain 3. Make 2 double crochets into this same space here, chain 1, 1 double crochet. Here's the first fan for this 3rd row. Now into each one of the chain spaces of each fan, you're going to make fans. So make 3 double crochets, 1 chain, 1 double crochet, and so on. This is the row that we're going to repeat from here on, and we're always going to turn. So continue, finish this 3rd row. I will meet you here at the end to once again show you how to finish each row from here on and how to start each row. I'm here at the end of this 3rd row. This is where we did fans. I have 22 fans. To finish each row, we're going to go here into the 3rd chain, insert your hook, and join with a slip stitch. And that's how you're going to finish each row from here on. Now to begin each row, you're going to turn, and beginning on top of the first double crochet here, make a slip stitch. Into the chain space, make a slip stitch. Now chain 3, and into this same space here, make 2 double crochets, 1 chain, 1 double crochet. So here's the first fan for this 4th row. Now into each one of the chain spaces here of each fan, you're going to make fans. And that's all we're going to do for the rest of the diaper cover here. To finish the row, you're going to go here into the 3rd chain, slip stitch, and then turn and make the next row in the exact same way as I showed you here. And that's all. I'm not sure how many rows I'm going to do from here on, but continue watching. I will let you know exactly how many rows I'm going to do. So continue and I'll meet you at the end of that row. And remember, at the end of each row, you're always going to have 22 fans. I finished making this part here. I did a total of 13 fan rows plus the row single crochets. I have 14 rows here for this part. Now it's measuring from the top of the waistband to the end of the last row. It's measuring about 19.5 centimeters, which is about 7.75 inches. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to separate the legs. So to divide the legs, this is what we're going to do. This is where I finished. So for the back side, I have 2 fans. For each one of the legs, I have 9 fans, and here for the front, I have 2 fans. So what we're going to do here is we're going to make these 2 fans and these 2 fans. We're going to start here, then we're going to go here, here, and here, so that here we have 4 fans. So let me show you. We're going to make the crutch before we do the legs. So turn, beginning on top of the first double crochet here, make a slip stitch, and into the chain space, make a slip stitch. Now chain 3, 2 double crochets, 1 chain, 1 double crochet. So here's the first fan for the back side. Now to separate the leg, we're going to chain 1, skip 9 fans, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and into the fan after the stitch marker, which is the first one here for the front, make a fan. Now into the next chain space of the next fan, make a fan. So here are the 2 fans for the front side. Now to separate the second leg, same thing, chain 1, skip 9 fans, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and into the next one, in the chain space here, make the second fan for the back side. To finish, join with a slip stitch into the 3rd chain, cut your yarn and pass your yarn through this last loop. And this part here is done. So we have divided the legs. We have 2 fans here for the front and 2 fans here for the back. This is the back side. This is where we started. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go here to the left side. Again, this is the back side. This row is going to be worked from the wrong side out. So to start this first row, insert your hook right into this chain space, grab a loop here, bring it through, and chain 3. Here I'm going to be adding an extra fan, and it's going to be done here where we did the chain. So chain 3. Now one thing, make sure to leave a nice long tail here, because once this part here is done, you're going to seam this hole. You're just going to go stitch by stitch and join. You can do that after we're done. So I have my 3 chains, and right into this same space I'm going to make 2 double crochets. Here I'm making a fan for this first row. There, here's the fan. Now between this fan and this first fan out of the 9 that we left, there's a big gap. I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a double crochet decrease. So yarn over, insert your hook into this same fan where we did this second fan when we separated the legs. So right into this chain space there, insert your hook, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, leave 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, insert your hook into the chain space of the first fan, take 2 loops off, 3 loops on the hook, close. And as you can see, this gap here is now separated by that double crochet. So now complete your fan here. So make 2 more double crochets, chain 1, double crochet. So here's the first fan. Now into the next fan, make a fan, and so on. So here you're just going to work these 9 fans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I will meet you right here to show you how we're going to finish this first row for the first leg. I'm here at the end of this first row for the first leg. Now I have a total of 10 fans, including this one here that we added here into the chain space of the crutch. Now this row was worked from the wrong side out because we're following the same pattern here. So to finish here, we're going to do the same thing I did here. We're going to make a double crochet decrease. So yarn over, insert your hook into this same fan where we did the second fan here for the back side. So insert your hook there, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, leave 2 loops on the hook. Now to finish the row, go into the 3rd chain here at the beginning and make a slip stitch where you close this double crochet. And this row here is done, and this is how it looks. You should have 10 fans. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Now for the second row, we're going to turn, and beginning into this next double crochet, make a slip stitch and a slip stitch into the chain space. Now chain 3, 2 double crochets, chain 1, 1 double crochet, and then you're going to repeat the same thing into each one of the chain spaces of each fan. You're going to make a fan for this second row all around, and at the end we're going to be left with 10 fans for this second row. So continue. I will meet you at the end of this second row. I'm here at the end of this second row. Here's my last fan. I have 10 fans. Now to finish, go here to the beginning where we have the 3 chains, and into the 3rd chain make a slip stitch. And this is how I finish the second row. Now I'm not going to continue anymore. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to do the bottom here of the leg in the same way how we did the waistband. If you want to continue and turn this into a pair of pants, you can. You can just continue and make the legs as long as you want and just continue with the same number of fans. So now for the 3rd row, we're going to chain 1. In this row, what I'm going to do is half double crochets all around. So each one of the fans here, we have 4 double crochets and 1 chain space. What I'm going to do is I'm going to skip the chain space, and into the double crochets, I'm going to make half double crochets. So to begin here, insert your hook back into this first stitch, which is the same one that we joined to, and make the first half double crochet. Into the next, make a half double crochet, and into the next a half double crochet. So here I have 3 half double crochets. Now skip this chain space, and into the last double crochet of this first fan, make a half double crochet. So here I have 4 half double crochets. Now we have the second fan, do the same thing, make 1 half double crochet on each double crochet, skip the chain space, and into the double crochet make a half double crochet. So each fan is going to have 4 half double crochets. Continue like this for this 3rd row. I will meet you at the end. I finished making this 3rd row. Here at the end, I just joined to the beginning with a slip stitch, cut my yarn, and passed my yarn through that last loop. At the end of this 3rd row, I had 40 half double crochets. Now I'm going to change yarn color here. So insert your hook back into the same stitch where we joined to, which is the first half double crochet. Bring this loop through, chain 1. Now beginning into the first half double crochet here, make a front post half double crochet. Into the next, back post half double crochet. Into the next, front post half double crochet, back post half double crochet into the next, and so on. For this 4th row, this is all we're going to do. Front post and back post half double crochets. Continue like this all around. I'll meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of this 4th row. This is where we did front post and back post half double crochets. Here's my last stitch. It's a back post half double crochet, and I have 40 stitches at the end of this 4th row. Now to finish, go on top of the first half double crochet and join with a slip stitch. Now for row 5, we're going to repeat the same thing. So chain 1, and beginning into this first half double crochet, make a front post half double crochet. Into the next, back post half double crochet, front post half double crochet into the next, and so on. Here we're going to work these stitches exactly how they are. If you see a front post, make a front post half double crochet. If you see a back post, then make a back post half double crochet. Continue all around for this 5th row. I'll meet you at the end. I finished this 5th row. This is where we did front post and back post half double crochets. Here at the end, I just joined to the beginning with a slip stitch, cut my yarn, and passed my yarn through that last loop. And at the end of this 5th row, I had 40 stitches as well. Now this part here is done. So what you're going to do next is you're going to make the second leg, and you're going to do it exactly in the same way how we did the first leg. So I'm going to start you off. Again, this is the left side, it's the back side. So we're going to go here to the right side, and we're going to begin here where we did the chain to separate the legs. So insert your hook into this chain space, grab a loop, chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now make 2 double crochets. Here we're making this fan here, so chain 1 and double crochet. Here's the first fan. Again, this row is going to be worked from the wrong side out. Now yarn over, and we don't want a gap between this first fan and the second one. So what you're going to do is go into the same chain space where we did this fan here for the crutch, insert your hook there, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, 2 loops on the hook. Now go into the first chain space of the first fan of the 9 that we left for the second leg, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, 3 loops on the hook, close. So here's that double crochet decrease. Now finish this fan, so make 2 double crochets, chain 1, double crochet. And now into each fan in the chain space, you're going to make fans all around. Continue like this for this first row. For the second leg, I'll meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of this first row for the second leg. Here's my last fan. Now to finish here, we're going to yarn over, and again, we don't want this gap between the first and the last fan. So insert your hook into this same chain space of this fan where we did this fan here for the crutch. So insert your hook there, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, leave 2 loops on the hook. Now go here to the beginning where we have the 3 chains into the third chain, grab a loop and make a slip stitch. And here is the first row for the second leg with a total of 10 fans. Now for the second row, we're going to turn here. Now in the second row, we're going to make a slip stitch into the first double crochet and a slip stitch into the chain space. Now chain 3, make 2 double crochets, chain 1, double crochet. Here's the first fan for the second leg, and into each chain space of each fan, you're going to make a fan. Now at the end of this row, you're going to have 10 fans, and to finish, you're just going to go here to the beginning, join with a slip stitch into the third chain, and then make the third row, which is the row here of half double crochets, and then finish with the last 2 rows in white where you make front post and back post half double crochets. You can rewind the video. This part here is done exactly in the same way from here on. So continue, finish the second leg, and then I'll come back and show you the finished diaper cover. I finished making the second leg. I did it exactly in the same way as I showed you here with the first side. Now I already hid my ends as well, and I also went ahead and joined here the crotch area. I did it how I told you. You're just going to go stitch by stitch and then just hide your ends. So the diaper cover is all done, and this is how it looks. Here's the front and here's the back side. I already hid all my ends, and here around the waist what I did was I just made this long chain. This is about 120 chains, and I just weaved it here through the center. Here for the legs, I just weaved this ribbon here all around and just tied a little bow. So you can do the same thing. So this diaper cover is all done to match the little dress that I showed you, this one here. Now let me give you the final measurements. From the top of the waist to the end here, it's measuring about 24 centimeters, which is about 9.5 inches. From the waist up to the crotch here, it's measuring about 20 centimeters, which is about 8 inches. And the waist, just the top, it's measuring about 22 centimeters, which is about 8.5 inches. So based on these measurements, this diaper cover, along with the little dress, is for baby girls between 3 and 6 months old. Now you can easily make it smaller or bigger. In the information box, I'll go ahead and leave you some information on how you can easily make it smaller or bigger, so be sure to check that out. Now this was today's tutorial where I showed you how to crochet this beautiful little summer dress along with a matching diaper cover. Make sure to comment below and let me know if you want me to make the matching little sun hat or baby booties. I'll gladly go ahead and do that for you all, but make sure to comment. Thank you so much for watching.